Labour, at a time like this, will act in the national interest. We will be a constructive opposition. We will support whatever reasonable steps are necessary to protect lives and protect our NHS. But I also want to say this. There should be nothing inevitable about a second lockdown. It would be a sign of government failure, not an act of God. I want this to be the best country to grow up in and the best country to grow old in. A country in which we put family first. A country that embodies the values I hold dear. Decency, fairness, opportunity, compassion, and security. Security for our nation, our families, and for all of our communities. Sadly, we don't have a government that has such high standards. And on Brexit, let me be absolutely clear. The debate between leave and remain is over. We are not going to be a party that keeps banging on about Europe. The Prime Minister has repeatedly promised that he will get a deal. So go on and get one. The Labour Party has lost 4 general elections in a row. We've granted the Tories a decade of power. The Tories have had as many election winners in 5 years as we've had in 75. It's a betrayal of what we believe in to let this go on. We must once again be the party of the whole United Kingdom, the party of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. We must make the case much more persuasively that we achieve more together than we do alone, to stop the nationalists ripping our country apart by design, and to stop the Tories dismantling it by neglect. All 3 of the post-war Labour winners, Attlee, Wilson and Blair, saw it as their task to modernise Britain. In 1945, Attlee had to build a society fit to reward the sacrifices of the war. In 1964, Wilson had to make the white heat of technology work for working people. And in 1997, Blair wanted to extend the new era of opportunity to everyone. We know that COVID affects our Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities disproportionately. But the government still hasn't done anything about it. The eradication of structural racism will be a defining cause for the next Labour government. COVID-19 thrives on inequalities, structural inequalities, that we must defeat. What we need is a national strategy with clear targets to close the education gap at every stage in a life's development. A strategy enforced through an independent body, such as the Children's Commissioner, and embedded in everything that we do. If the Prime Minister won't act, we'll set up our own task force and get on with it. Because if levelling up is to mean anything, it must mean closing the education gap and making sure no child is held back. The social care system in Britain is a disgrace to a rich nation. The Tories have had a decade to sort it out, but they've done nothing. David Cameron promised he would fix it. Theresa May promised she would fix it. A year ago, Boris Johnson promised he would fix it. Let's hold them to that promise. So to those people in Doncaster and Deeside, in Glasgow and Grimsby, in Stoke and in Stevenage, to those who have turned away from Labour, I say this: we hear you. Never again will Labour take you or the things you care about for granted. And I ask you, take another look at Labour. We're under new leadership. We love this country as you do. This is the country I grew up in. And this is the country I will grow old in. And I want it to be the country I know it can be. That, in the end, is why I do this. To change lives for the better. To make a difference to my country. I know the good a Labour government can do. and I'm already looking forward to it. Thank you.